Welcome to Civil Planning Insights. Ever wonder if AI can actually answer some important questions about land use and zoning, such as can I subdivide my property? Many people with large properties or large lots may be thinking, hey, what can I do with this extra land? Can I subdivide it and perhaps sell? That could be an additional source of income. Well, how can AI help us? Well, the truth is it can help a little bit, but we'll see to what degree. Let's do a use case here in New Jersey. I'm within the town of Ridgewood here on Zillow.com, just searching for properties that are quite large. And because many of the lots in New Jersey are pretty small, I'm actually searching just for lots that are greater than half an acre. Obviously, if you are in a different state or a different part of the state, this would have to be a lot larger. Found this property right here that actually looks like it has a vacant portion in the rear of the property off Linwood Avenue. So this property at the intersection of Paramus Road and Linwood Avenue does seem like it might have some extra land, so this might serve as a use case for some other homeowners. It might be in a similar situation. And I don't know anything about this lot. I don't know anyone who lives there, but I'm just searching it on the web just based on the aerial. So when I click on it, I can see the actual address. Here is 833 Linwood Avenue in Ridgewood, New Jersey. So we can come and search online for Ridgewood zoning. I can search it on Bing or Google. It's the first option listed, and if I click on the link, you can see that it actually takes me to the zoning page. And it's quite helpful in that it actually has a zoning map right here, which if we download, we can open it up, and then this is what you get. Now in reality, this can be a tedious process because you have to actually locate your property on these maps. But here we can kind of tell if I zoom in a little bit. Now I happen to know, just from the research that I did, that this property is actually right here. That street is actually Paramus Road, is right here. And Linwood Avenue is right there, right at the intersection. So you're kind of at the border of R125 and the of the town. Now the question is, can AI read this map and tell me where I am if I just give it an address? I doubt it, but we're going to try it. So let's get this address here and let's go to, you can use OpenAI, that is what I'm using. You can use others as well, but I'm posting it here, that same PDF. Now, I'm going to type in the prompt, using this PDF, can you tell me the zoning district for the following address? And I'm going to paste the address we had there. Now let's see what it does. Now, it's interesting. I tried it. I didn't think it was even going to try it. It says it falls under the R1 zoning district. It's actually not correct. It's actually this property here where my cursor is, and you can see that it's not. But it's close. But that's not good. But at least we know how to read the map, and we can look it up ourselves. So it's likely that if you're trying to do this research on your own, you can read the map and locate your property on a map. Although it might be slower. Hopefully, in the future, it would be able to do just that. And that makes sense because this PDF isn't geolocated or anything. So there's no real way to know where this would be. So let's try something else now. Now that we know that R125 is the actual zoning district. Can we subdivide is the question. So step one is finding out the zoning district. Step two would be finding out what the other requirements are. What's the minimum area needed to subdivide? It's two things that we want to find out. One, do we have enough area vacant lot to break up and subdivide the property so that it meets the minimum area of the town? But two, are we left with a portion of a property that still also complies? So that'd be the second question. We want to know the answer to both of those. So now we have to find out the zoning for Ridgewood. So let's go back to OpenAI, and for Ridgewood, New Jersey, within the zoning district of R125, again, that's the zone that we're actually in, R125. What is the minimum lot area required? And let's see what it says. So it tells us that the minimum lot area is 12,500 square feet. This is the standard in the R125 zones. Now, how can we verify this? We saw that in trying to read the map that it did not work. But can we verify this information? Actually, we can verify it. And let's go back here now to the original website. It's a little bit cumbersome in that it didn't really show us the zoning text, or at least a link to it. And in fact, if you search it on their website, it wasn't easy to find. But I happen to know that they list all of their codes on eCode 360. If you don't know ecode360.com, it's a great website to find out the zoning ordinances of many municipalities across the country. It's not the only website. There are some other big websites that municipalities use. And you can see that it's actually quite current as of October 9th. So it's pretty up to date and it's very helpful. Now, the other challenge is when you zoom in or you look at the left-hand panel and you scroll, you're not going to see zoning. And these are the list of different laws that are in this village of Ridgewood. And that's because, at least in New Jersey, sometimes they don't categorize it as zoning. They may have what they call land use laws or different terms like that. In this case, land use happens to be the one that they're using here. So now you can actually look up a lot of things about developing property. Site development, design guidelines, and zoning, and this is where zoning actually is located. So R125 happens to be here, and we can click on it, and it zooms us right through it, and we can see that we have single family uses, so you can only build that. It does have some accessory uses, like swimming pools, which we can actually tell from the aerial that the current property has one, and some conditional uses. But where does it say minimum lot? Well, here under bulk and lot regulations, again, sometimes you have to know the terms to recognize what you're looking for. In this case, bulk and lot regulations is where the minimum area would be. So here, notice that it says minimum lot area is 25,000 square feet. That's interesting. OpenAI told us it was 12,500, and I'm not really sure why. Now, initially, OpenAI said it was in the R1 district. I'm curious, so I'm going to search that, and if we look at that again, and we go to bulk and lot regulations, minimum lot area actually says 14,000 square feet. It was not the 12,500 OpenAI gave us. So I'm not really sure why they're saying that. So let's try a different way. Another way is, let's just say you didn't even know how to search for what we're looking for. So let's just go back for a second. I'm going to go back to where we were. And once I find it here, I'll click on it. Now, actually, I'm going to create a PDF of everything related to zoning. And what I'm going to do is, see, I may not know exactly where to find the specific text that I'm looking for. So I may need to do more research on other things. So I'm just going to make a PDF of this whole section. You can do that by clicking on the checkbox. You can check and uncheck what you don't want. I'm going to upload the PDF, and then I'm going to enter a prompt. And the prompt will say, using this PDF only, what is the minimum lot area required within the R125 zone? Very good. So by reading the PDF, it gave us the correct answer, 25,000 square feet. But just asking the question, even though we were very specific to say Ridgewood, New Jersey, it didn't work, nor by giving it the district. So you want to include the words using the PDF only in your prompt. And then you can set your question to help the prompt be guiding the search. And in this case, it actually did it, and it caught it pretty well. Well, now that we did that, let's ask other questions. What are other requirements within the R125 zone? And just to be safe, we write our key prompt using the PDF attached previously only. It's a maximum building height is 30 feet and 2.5 stories. Tells us a condition here about when we can extend the height, tells us a little bit about the setbacks, talks about the front yard, 50 feet, side yard, 20 feet, rear yard, 40 feet, and a minimum lot width of 125 feet at the front yard, at the minimum front yard setback line. It's just getting a little bit more complicated, but at least we know if our property is significantly larger than 25,000 square feet, that's roughly half an acre. Now, just to compare to the actual property we're interested in, this property here, if you scroll to the bottom in the description, we see it's actually 2.46 acres. So really, you could probably subdivide and have a lot. Now granted, you still have to meet some other conditions. If you do, then maybe you can subdivide. Again, I'm not talking about this being a real full feasibility study. I'm just doing a very look at the question, can I subdivide? You're probably going to need a lot more consulting from someone that really knows this to do a real thorough analysis. But if you got extra land, this may be something you're interested in. And this is how you could check it for yourself. So far, from what we can tell, it's better to create a PDF, upload it, and then just use that as the source of information, and then it can actually read the document for you and summarize it. Just going back a little bit to some of the results that it gave us, let's just double check the maximum building feet. And let's look for that, and we can go back into our eCode 360 and search for our zone. And the maximum building height is 30 feet. Sure enough, it also says 2.5 stories, so that read it well. Let's look at some of the other criteria. Front yard, 50 feet. Yep. Yard, 20 feet. Let's look at those. Front yard, 50. Let's look at the coverage. It says above grade structures, maximum 20% of the lot area. Let's look at coverage again here. Maximum coverage and within 200 feet of the front line, 20% of the lot area. It's looking good. So it looks like by submitting or posting a PDF, it's actually fairly accurate. Blanket question, not so much. We're not there yet with AI, but it does seem like it's improving. Well, thanks for watching. We hope this showed you what the capabilities of AI are at the moment, and we're interested to see how it will proceed. Join us next time as we perform a similar search using AI in another town. Feel free to comment if there's a town for which you would like a similar analysis.